So what's going on with the new Mor Chana app? As far as the Thai government's concerned, it's part of their fight to track and trace the COVID-19 virus during this current outbreak. Mor Chana is a contact tracing tool. In essence, the app will allow you to check in when you go to different locations around Thailand, enter shops and buildings. As guests in the country, expats and travellers here should acknowledge that we have a role and responsibility to play in getting this current situation under control, as well as the Thais. Of course, you are well entitled to decide not to download and activate the app, but the narrative from the government is that they see Mor Chana as an important part of their strategy. The app will also alert you when you are entering areas or provinces of potentially high risk. Being alert to these situations is like being alert to any other type of news. So far, the application has been downloaded more than 3 million times. The app will also help health authorities to identify those who have been in close contact with infected people. The CCSA says this may also help prevent medical practitioners from contracting the disease. The app uses GPS and Bluetooth technology to track and trace your smartphone, should the CCSA need to alert you or others about any changes in your or others' COVID status. At any stage, you could disable the app or delete it from your phone. The app will ask you to provide answers to some basic questions. It will then provide you with a status. At the moment, people travelling from the 28 red zone areas, including Bangkok, will likely be required to load the app onto their phone and fill out the details when they're checking in for flights or driving across provincial borders. Here's the colour coding for the app. The green QR code is for very low risk, a person who doesn't have any cold symptoms, hasn't travelled overseas or had contact with people with risks. Yellow QR code is for low risk, a person may have cold symptoms but with no history of travelling abroad or having any close friends, family members or colleagues travelling abroad during the past 14 days. The orange code is for risky, a person who travelled abroad, had contact with ones who travelled abroad during the past 14 days and have outstanding COVID-19 symptoms or asymptomatic. People in this group are required to self-quarantine for 14 days and see a doctor as soon as possible. The red QR code is for high risk, a person who shows COVID-19 symptoms and travelled abroad or who had contact with people with high risks. Yesterday, the spokesperson from the CCSA clarified on his personal Facebook page a misunderstanding reported in some Thai media. The report said that people could face imprisonment if they didn't install the app. He clarified that health officials just ask that those infected with COVID-19 provide transparent travel information and that the hefty fines will apply only to people who are trying to mislead officials. He apologised after social media users were up in arms over the threat, pointing out that many Thais do not have smartphones or devices capable of installing apps. He also clarified that people who test positive and don't own smartphones will not be prosecuted, provided they cooperate with officials. He says the use of the app will be strictly applied to the provinces of Samut Sakhon, Rayong, Chonburi, Trat and Chanthaburi. These 5 provinces currently face strict restrictions on movement due to their COVID-19 situation. Now, we understand that some people are worried about putting apps on their phones and sharing information, including their current whereabouts. That's an argument that you can have with yourself, but we'd be recommending that all of us can help as guests in this country, and any perceived loss of civil liberties can be weighed against the greater good. There's actually been some reviews in the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store saying that the application drains your battery. Now, whether that's a real thing or not at the moment, well, I suppose we'll hear more about it in the next few weeks, but it might be something that you can note on your phone and send us some information if you know that is a problem. Now, we will be accused of either being paid by the government or showing tacit support towards the government for providing this information. Nothing could be further from the truth. We just see this as a responsible part of being a foreigner in the country, guests in the country, and doing our bit to help the government fight the current outbreak of COVID-19. We've also put links underneath this video in the description area for you to download from the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. Anyway, that's a quick look at the Mor Chana app, and it's over to you.